Hello and welcome to episode 127 of the Heart of Markness Led Zeppelin podcast. Man, oh man. And that's not counting all the bonus ones. I'm in like the 230s now. Nice. I love doing this. Hooray. I hope you love listening. Seems like some of you do. And I will accept that as truth. Just as I will accept that most of you listening enjoy, tolerate, or maybe even look forward to my ramblings and diversions. Off the beaten path, eh? Any who. Let us get started, shall we? Let us get started. I have chosen for this week's topic, well, you already know what it is because you can see the title of it scrolling across your phone, or your computer, or your Apple Watch, or whatever doodad you have going on now. It is Led Zeppelin in Belfast, Ireland. I tried to sound cool there and fucked it up. March 5th, he says, checking his notes. The Ulster Hall, Belfast, Northern Ireland, which is part of the United Kingdom, whereas Ireland is its own thing. Catholics and Protestants, and so it goes. Any heezy. This night is very important. First of all, I think it might be the first night of they played something in 1971. I will look into that. In any case, this is the very, 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 very first time any songs from Zeppelin 4 were played publicly. Zeppelin 4, four symbols, runes, whatever. You know the one, Jesus Christ. Doesn't come out for, I think, another 8 months after this. So they haven't been hearing this on the radio. They haven't been hearing this anywhere else. First time ever hearing songs from Zepp 4. Which means, yes, it is the very first time Stairway to Heaven has been played. Publicly. And did everybody spontaneously ejaculate, weep, fall to their knees, and offer their souls? No. They clapped and said, awesome. Play something we know. No, it wasn't like that. I mean, but it wasn't that. Stairway to Heaven didn't become mythic until the band started making it mythic. I mean, it was great on the radio. It was always huge that way. But that mythic, everybody shush. That was 73. And then by 77, it was a little schlocky. And then by 79, Robert's doing it because, all right, you got to do it. Stones, you got to play Satisfaction. Zeppelin, you got to play Stairway. 1980, same thing. And then after that, no more. No more. Except for the 88 reunion. An acoustic bit they did on Japanese TV in 94 or 95. Short little acoustic. Like the hosts were like, you pray us Stairway to Heaven? And they're like, sure. And then don't think they did it in Page Plant. And they did it at the O2. I think that's it. You're going to hear the very first time. This is off the master cassette. And you're like, ooh, master recording. Yes, master is a good adjective. Cassette is not a great noun for 1971. Because they were all, not all, but shitty. This recording is fine. It is a bit overloaded because it was just a shitty old cassette player. You guys who are older, or my age, which I guess is older, you know the type your dad had or your mom had, or it was at work, the rectangular, little thing with the handle, tape flipped up, had a little rotary counter and condenser mic built in. No noise reduction, no high bias. I don't even know if high bias existed in 71. Anyhow, it's not the best tape. It is not the worst one you've heard on this podcast. But it is not the best. It is fine. It is absolutely fine. And it's the only recording we have of this. So it's off the master, so it's as good as it's going to get. And I even looked for around briefly for remasters of this, and I wasn't able to find any. I'm sure they're out there, but everything I found was this recording. But thank God it's off the master. It's the master to CDR, unknown generation, but who cares? It's digital. And here we is. Well, actually, it does matter, the CD generations, because unless you're using something like EAC in secure mode, offset corrected, it's fine. It's good enough, all right? It's fine. This is a great show. This is a great Robert show. I mean, everybody's great. 1971, you didn't really have that many bum gigs. And the ones that you had were just, instead of being unbelievably awesome, they were just great. So, this is a wonderful gig. Robert's voice is insane. This is the best, in fact, the first song I'm going to play for you, I think, is the best performance of Black Dog ever. And I'm not alone in that. That's the consensus, mainly, on Dogs of Doom. And I got this idea from them, actually, as I usually do, because, like I said, I've already gone through the shows that I know intimately. And instead of just grabbing, shit at random, I look to the youth. And actually, there's some people that are my age there now. But they're always talking, in the Discord servers, they're always talking about top 5s, top 10. What's the best 71? Somebody's listening to it and saying, oh my God, Immigrant Song from 3/2/87 slaps. And they're like, oh yeah, wait till you listen to 3/3/87. We weren't playing in 87. Just an example. And this came up, and I was like, oh, you know what? I own this for 20 years. I've listened to it once, probably, just to be like, first Stairway. It must have been magnificent. Oh, it was great, but the audience didn't go crazy. It did not change lives. I'd probably shelved it and never listened to it again because the quality was a bit dodgy. And having had it for 20 years almost, or what, unless it came out sooner than that, and then I grabbed it then. It might not have been from the master. It might have been from a worse source. A 7th generation tape off of this, which would then be a nightmare. I don't know. I don't remember. In any case, oh, hey, famous ramblings. All right, coming up on 8 minutes, going to shut the fuck up and play you Black Dog, where Robert's voice is insane. It's just like the record. It's unbelievable. Man, oh man. Please enjoy this. Like I said, this recording is overloaded and distorted a bit. It is listenable, but it is not high fidelity. But like I said, again, this is not the worst sounding tape you've heard. And I'm probably just going overboard with the caveats, because every once in a while, when I put a show like this on, somebody just says why you play such shit? Sound is shit. Zeppelin shit. You shit. Which then makes me furious, and I have fantasies about tracking them down, castrating them and crucifying them and disemboweling them and all this horrible, torturous stuff, which is slightly disproportionate to the response. Plus, it's the internet. So in those times, I emulate my exemplars, the people that I follow, as far as how do you treat an online community? How do you treat a Facebook group? How do you handle this? How do you handle this? And just shake my head and say, it's the internet. Delete the negative comment so it doesn't eat at me. And then just get on with life, because it's the fucking internet. Like, I've never called anybody an asshole. Not me. Oh, we're at 9 minutes now. All right. Well, let me tell you about my childhood. I was born in Bern, Switzerland, on a beautiful August day in 1937. All right. How about we listen to Black Dog instead? Black Dog! This might be a better one for headphones. I am not listening to it on headphones because I think I inadvertently threw out one of the connector cables I have to my digital audio converter that I plug my headphones into. Why don't you just plug it into your computer, Mark? Well, because the headphone jack on my computer's fucked up, because years ago I stood up too fast or something and just, it doesn't work. So I'm playing it through my TV, which, whatever. All right, 10 minutes wasted now. Black Dog, Ireland, Belfast, Northern Ireland, March 5th, 1971. First time ever. Can you imagine? First of all, this is Led Zeppelin playing a hall. In 71, they did that small tour. I mean, it's not like there's giant arenas in 1971 in Ireland to host 100,000 people. Small arena. Small hall, rather. I think it's Ulster Hall, right? That's what it's called. Ulster Hall. Not Ulster Arena. Not Ulster Amphitheater. Not Ulster Palladium. Not Ulster Steakhouse. It's a hall, which means it's a box full of chairs and a stage with a band playing. That band happens to be Led fucking Zeppelin playing Zepp 4 songs for the first time. All right. Last time, I promise. Here we go. Black Dog. I love you.
With reference to a bit of toilet paper, but hang about. Let's go down to the next number. We're going to tell you that it's very encouraging to hear everybody shouting, but we came here and we thought, well, when we come here, we've got to play something. So we worked out what we were going to play. Anyway, as the night goes on, it could well change. But this is a thing from the fourth album. This is called Black Dog.
That was awesome. That was awesome. I wish it was clearer. It's fine. Like I said, it's fine. It's good. The fact that it's a master is great, and the thing that makes master recordings wonderful is stuff like, although the band is overloaded simply because the volume, pardon, it was too much for the microphone to really handle. The primitive technology, leveling technology of the recorder was like, when it was engineered, I'm sure it was like, it's never going to get louder than someone yelling in a business meeting. So that's all we need to calibrate it for. It's like, nope, you have to calibrate it for Led Zeppelin playing a small hall. Hall means hundreds of people. Hundreds. Or like, not more than 2,000. Holy shit. And you can hear the guys talking. And I couldn't quite get it, but at the end, I'm sure the guy was saying something like, that was a corker, isn't it? It was positive. Like, that was good. That's great. I have to reevaluate my long-term perception that people were like, yeah, that's great. Play Since I've Been Loving You. Play the Immigrant Song. It is Led Zeppelin's first time coming out. That song is pure rock star swagger. That song is not Peace and Love. That song is not Vikings. That song is not Girl, You Done Me Wrong. That song is straight up, girl, I'm gonna fuck you. And you know it. The end. Swagger. That's the swagger of like, knock, knock, knock. Hello, is Casey ready to go? Yes, she is. I'm her father. And I got some things to say to you, young man. Oh, you're her father? Nice to meet you. I have some things to say to you, too. I'm going to bang your daughter. Like a gong. That's it. That is, it's the swagger, the libidinal force at work. I liked that. You liked that. His voice. What the fuck? I didn't even mention it. His voice. That boy, I wish. Of course I wish. I wish that someone was back there to be like, hey, here's how you take care of a voice. And someone was back there to say, hey, Jimmy, here's how you rehab a broken finger. You don't, no, not Jack Daniels. Nope, not heroin. The pain is okay. We can manage the pain. We need to rehab it so it keeps working like it does now, or else you're going to end up having trouble playing. If onlys. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I've been focusing a lot on if onlys. In my own life. As I continue to improve myself, gosh darn it, people like me, etc. I can't help but still just go back to like, why couldn't everybody stay alive and be friends and stay Led Zeppelin forever? Even though they're almost 80 now. Who cares? Because that's what happens. All right. Speaking of that's what happens, everybody is frantically screaming and with joy about the Becoming Led Zeppelin documentary that was screened in Venice last week. However, it turns out, much like, get ready kids, I'm going to make a young reference you're going to understand, much like Cyberpunk 2077, Becoming Led Zeppelin made promises that it did not keep. Yes, the live performances are complete, which is great. They're not little snippets like on the Stones 25 by 5, where you're like, holy fuck, play that. And it's not. Then it cuts back to Keith going, hey, actually, right? The songs are complete, and they are live, and they are from 1969, but they're from the fucking BBC sessions. And the live footage that everybody's so happy about is shit that I knew about in high school. The Super Show, 1968. And it was cut and synced, the way like Led Zepp film syncs those 8mm footage to the audience tape to make it match. This was cut and synced to make it match Good Times, Bad Times. No, that's not what was cut to make to match, was it? I don't know. It's all anecdotal. Here's what I know. Someone from one of the Led Zeppelin groups, someone who's a big dadgad, that's who it was, big in the remastering scene. And as I've read from the youth, all the boomers love dadgads remasters. Maybe because by the time you're in your 50s or 60s, you lose your fucking high end. So you jack the high end a little bit so you can hear it. Suck my dick. You're going to get there too. Saw it at the 11:45 show. Jimmy was there. You saw Jimmy. Jimmy was great. Jimmy was gracious. Wonderful to see Jimmy. Got some cell phone footage of him walking and stuff. Great. The documentary, the live footage, that the missing footage is just little snippets of the Bath Festival, 1969, not 1970. And the audio, like I said, at least I've been told, the live performances are from the BBC sessions with the footage edited to make it look like it kind of matches. Most Zeppelin fans will be ecstatic. I think I'm going to like it because from what it sounds like, it's like a PBS kind of American experience movie that's really in depth, talking about, the beginning of Led Zeppelin ending in 1970 at or even before, Royal Albert Hall. So it really is becoming Led Zeppelin, which is rad. But then, man, we were told explicitly by the filmmaker that there was going to be festival footage, unseen footage, complete songs, live performances you've never seen before. No stone was left unturned. And then, it's the Super Show. It's a great, I guess from what I understand, all the footage is of improved quality. Like they really took their time making it look good, sound good. It has Jimmy, Robert, and Jonesy in it, and Bonzo. Jimmy, Robert, and Jonesy are contemporary interviews. They took part in the production of it. They really contributed. It's not like somebody grabbed a footage of Robert on MTV in 1985 and put it in there, like some of them are. And it's not, Carmine Appice talking about the band and then cutting to Miss Pamela and then cutting to Richard Cole and then cutting to Danny Goldberg, all talking about John Bonham he was a great guy until he started drinking. It's not one of those. Baby, it's not one of those. God damn. Rolling Stones. I can't wait to see it, but I am disappointed that it's another Charlie Brown and the Football kind of thing. Sneakers and pinball machines and what the fuck is going on? We should just be happy. I know we should just be happy. I am happy. But the fact that a kid that's in college, a kid that started doing this when he was in high school, Led Zepp Films, Z, as he's known. I know his real name. With his home computer and home consumer equipment, software, can take these herky-jerky, spasmodic little 8mm films that have been around forever, sync them to the audio perfectly, and then do this project like Badge Holders Blues. That's a fucking miracle and a work of love. And then have this happen, and why didn't you do that? Why didn't you shell out for the Central Park Festival gig? Or the Schaefer Music Festival, I think it is. Newport, Bath 69. You've got the footage for that. And then, why have footage of any consequence from outside the hall? Hey, look, there's the bill that says Iron Butterfly and Led Zeppelin. Cool. Why don't you go through the door so we can see the fucking band? All right, I'm a little hot. I apologize. Whew. Got to dial that back. But, God damn it, guys. Just another disappointment. And I'm sure, as I always do, I'll come back and go, you know what, I was a dick. We should just be, but at the moment, I am very disappointed. Again, Charlie Brown and the Football. Ugh! So what are we going to hear now? Let's hear Stairway to Heaven. The very, very, very first Stairway. It's cute. I like on Black Dog, Bonzo still had the gong at the end, but they didn't have the bow, 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 bow. They just kind of ended the song. I like that. I like big butts and I cannot lie. You're going to like Stairway now. Here you go. Stairway to Heaven. Same gig. Enjoy. The very first performance, before does anybody remember laughter, before some of Jimmy's little things that are standard were developed. My goodness. Unfortunate those dropouts were pretty jarring. I apologize for those. Forgot they were there. I would have given you a heads up. Well, you can just edit and just put the... Yeah, I know. Sorry those are there. Very nice. The next one is... I'm just going to blow... I wasted a bunch of time ranting earlier, so I'm just going to blow through this one. The next track is the actual next track played at the gig. They went from Stairway straight into Going to California. Now this one, as it's acoustic, and as you could hear, the quieter moments when everybody isn't playing and there isn't the bass and the guitars and the drums overloading the poor mic, it can pick up Robert and things very, 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 very nicely. Adequately, for sure. So that's the case with Going to California. It's going to sound better. It's going to be better. And again, the very first time people are hearing this song, Stairway, that's so interesting because Zeppelin never recorded a song like that before. There weren't songs like that out there. That was something pretty unique. That was like a classical mentality, and as far as having the movements. It was more like something the Who would do, but the Who never got that granular with it, that high res with it. You have something like Sparks off of Tommy, but I gotta listen to some Who. Anyway, sorry, starting to ramble again. Going to California, much more enjoyable. Thanks for bearing with me on this one. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. Enjoy. Hey, me again. I nixed Going to California. It still had that same... It wasn't that distinct. You couldn't really hear it. You could hear Robert singing, but it wasn't... You're not missing much. I mean, it's Going to California. There was a dropout in it. I didn't catch the dropout last night, and it sounded better to me last night when I heard it. But I must admit, I was just playing it while I was doing other shit. So, you'll be able to download this at heartofmarkness.com, the entire show, and hear it for yourself. But I wasn't going to subject you to that. That might have been a bridge too far. Simply because you couldn't really... It's not good enough. It wasn't good enough for you. And the rest of them were? Yes. Speaking of the spiel, it is time for the spiel. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under the name Heart of Markness. Thank you. Thank you. That was just... That's footage. I'm on Twitter. And that's footage of Jimmy at the end of Becoming Led Zeppelin getting the standing ovation. Or maybe he's just coming in. Because some of the reviews were like half the audience left. I don't think it was that bad. But, fuck. Jimmy, I love you, but... Anyhow, where was I? Ah, yes. I was shilling my wares. Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Heart of Markness. First time, everybody. First time doing this, obviously. Sure. I have a Facebook group. That's where you can find me, the Heart of Markness Facebook group. Good bunch of fellas. Good bunch of friends. Facebook has changed its public group policies. I no longer have to approve anybody. You can just go on in there, which is kind of a bummer because it also forces anybody to be able to post. You don't have to be a member to post something, and I can't change it. It's either anybody can post or nobody can post unless I authorize it. And I'm not going to do that because I am only on Facebook for the Facebook group, mainly. So, there's that. YouTube, well, you all know what YouTube is. Some of you may be listening to me on YouTube now. Hello, YouTube. Nice to see you. Can you see me? I can. You look great. Put your pants on. If you like what I do, and you like how I do it, and you're of a mind and of the means to do so, you are invited, cordially, to consider becoming a patron of this podcast at patreon.com/heartofmarkness, or just go to Heart of Markness, where you can get these shows that I cover, the complete concerts, the complete recordings for free, downloaded, because I love you. And it's all because of the patrons, the people who give me money to do this and help pay for the hosting of the shows, hosting of the website, hosting on SoundCloud of the podcasts. Always more money. Always more money. Like a Twinkie, like a Twinkie. So these are the current titans upon whose shoulders rests this humble podcast. So a Laurel and hearty handshake go out to Philip, Picard, Kneggern, Jeff, Chris, Michael, Rob from Melbourne, Australia. How you doing on there, mate? Wayne, thank you so much. Oh, he sent me a really nice email. Really, it's a keeper. Brad, Danielle, Tracy, David, Mark, other David, Bonzo Billy, and Mimo. Thank you guys. Thanks for keeping the lights on. Thanks for helping me do this. Thanks for letting me do this online therapy session where I work out my shit while you listen, and then I play music. Speaking of playing music, it's time I play music now. All right, I'm not going to play Going to California, but I am going to play this. The very first performance of rock and roll live and in concert. Led Zeppelin, March 5th. And like I said, you'll be able to go to heartofmarkness.com and download this show. I'm going to endeavor to put it up there right now. I think I'm caught up. I've been posting a show a day on Heart of Markness to try and get caught up because I got behind at a time when I was cranking out podcasts. I did 5 in 1 week. Because I love you. Where else can you get this? So, heartofmarkness.com is where you'll find it. Sorry, lost my train of thought. I'm not in the groove today because I'm constantly fighting the urge to cough because everything is pollinating or sporing again. It's the bad. September is the month where I take Zyrtec and Allegra and allergy eye drops, and I'm still fucking dying in this place. Anywho, plus it's hot. It's 85 degrees. And for some reason, yesterday, after serving me all summer faithfully, my beloved air conditioner trips the circuit breaker the instant it's turned on now. So I don't know what that's about. It's okay. Tomorrow it's going down to 70, and then it's going to be autumn, and it'll be fine. And then by next year, I will have done nothing about the problem. But that's okay. That's still a year away, almost, or at least 6, 8, 9 months away. Whatever. Rock and roll. Led Zeppelin. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Anyway, we got to do another one. This is another one from the 4th album.
Seems to be the best one up.
That was fucking crazy. That was like Motorhead, the Ramones, and Jonesy playing some playing some different shit. Jimmy playing some stuff, and he didn't have that. No, just straight up, fast as shit. They got lost. Robert stopped singing because he didn't know where the fuck anything was, and Bonzo was playing at 300 fucking beats per minute, like he was playing for fucking Slayer. Unbelievable. Just knocked my remote off my armrest, as I always do, and yet I'll still put it there. I hope you enjoyed this. Here's the thing. I apologize for the dodgy sound quality. I do not apologize for the historiosity of the recording and the energy. This performance is fucking insane. I'm sorry that the recording, the only one that we have, is this. But that recording, and the first time they heard that, and did you hear that audience go crazy at the end of Rock and Roll? They didn't do that at the end of Stairway. They did that because the energy of Rock and Roll was so high, it just pulled them up with it. So that's it. Thank you for listening. Next week I'll try and have something better, although we don't know. The one I want to play you, I won't. You'll see. You'll see. This weekend I anticipate having another classic rock episode up or two. I may have my daughter here, in which case I might not be able to get two done on a weekend, but I will get one done. And there's a slight everything will be fine. I don't need to say anything. So this weekend is the classic rock, non-Led Zeppelin. Apologies. Mike Millard tapes, usually. Or something else. You guys have been clamoring for more Radiohead. I'm sorry. I just heard a bunch of you say, I wasn't. It's alright. A lot of people were. I have some great Radiohead shows from the Kid A era and the Amnesiac era, etc. And if you don't like Radiohead, that's cool. I understand it. But if you think they suck, you're wrong. They, like Led Zeppelin, are a live band. And their live performances are amazing. Their musicianship is amazing. Johnny Greenwood is insane. He's Jimmy and Jonesy rolled up into one in a lot of ways. Tom York is at least my age of 53, and his voice is as pure as an angel's. I've been listening to them. I didn't listen to them because, it was what my ex listened to, so I didn't listen to it. And then I started listening to them, and I'm like, fuck, I love these guys. So we'll see. In any case, thank you for listening. Be good to yourselves and each other, and I will talk to you soon. Lastly, if for some reason you wanted to get in touch with me and communicate with me, and you don't want to use Facebook, Twitter, or the website, you are welcome to email me at mark@heartofmarkness.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.